Before I forget about it, I have to talk about it. Jack straight up refers to toilet paper as toilet tissue during this movie. I want to talk about two bad lines that are the most memorable that I remember. One of them was a meme, and that is the Sindel line. So, um, Katana is like, "Oh my god, my mom's alive," and she's like, "Too bad you will die," and it is so bad. Oh, a lot like this movie. Then the second line that I really hated was when Liu Kang and Jade fight, and then he's like, "Oh, this was all Nightwolf's plan. I could have killed you," and then she goes, "But we live." Like it's so bad, bro. They have way more characters in this movie. Nightwolf shows up for a little bit. Probably the best actor in this movie with the best performance. Then he just kind of disappears. There is not one but two creepy comments about women in this movie. One comes from Jax towards Sonya, even though in the games they are just really good friends. There's no sexual tension or romantic tension between them, so it was very weird. And then there's one later with Raiden, the literal god who's like really old, where he says something about he hopes that Jade fights as good as she looks. It was just odd. Which earlier in the movie, I swear, when him and Katana go on like this weird ball thing to travel or whatever, it looks like he's sniffing her boobs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was. It was so weird. And then there's a lot of unnecessary butt shots in this movie. Like, character will do a backhand and make sure their butt is in frame. They do it with like all of the women in this. And then there's one where Sonya just straight up puts her ass in the camera and jiggles her butt. Like, the actor clearly was obsessed with women. They recasted Sonya, and I'm pretty sure they recasted Jax, even though, the actor that played him was only in like 2 seconds in the first movie. He was just there with Sonya when she was looking for Kano, and then she saw Kano get on the boat and she left him behind, and then we never saw Jax again. Cyrax is here, and he refers to him as the other homeboy he's gonna fight. Jax was so boring in this movie. And his metal arms weren't even metal arms. They had like this big hype moment where he took off his metal arms because he don't need no metal arms. Then he beats up Montaro. Shao Kahn doesn't wear his mask besides literal two scenes. One, his opening scene, and then near the end of the movie. And he still doesn't wear it very long in the end of the movie. Sindel doesn't do much. Jade gets killed by terrible special effects. Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight for a little bit because they realized, oh shit, these dudes were popular. And then Scorpion kidnaps Katana, disappears from the movie, and Sub-Zero disappears from the movie not too long after. Rain gets killed by Shao Kahn after he makes a mistake. Shao Kahn gets angry and says no excuses, and then brings his hammer down as lightly as possible. Sub-Zero, during one of his rare scenes in the movie, is like sliding on ice to fly or whatever, and they left the line in there still. I can't think of what they call it right now, but they left the thing that, harness that's attached to Sub-Zero to make him look like he's flying in the final product. Sonya kicks a TV at somebody, and the scene just ends with the person falling, because I guess they couldn't even make it attempt to look like the TV hit him. It was actually a computer, but same difference. It was actually during this scene where she puts her butt in the camera. Just kind of jiggles it a bit. It was gross. Melina shows up, gets beat up very over dramatically. She gets kicked in the head, like kind of lightly, and then she just like flops like a fish to land on her face in the dirt, and then we never see her again. Baraka and 2 Tarkarians are in this movie. One Tarkarian gets beat up, Baraka doesn't even lose, and then they just kind of disappear from the movie too. Shiva is in this movie, and she dies by a cage, bro. She has 4 arms, so she's stronger than most people. And you can already tell that she's a pretty strong person. Look at her. She got muscles. And she dies by a cage. She doesn't even attempt to cash it. She just shows up. She's like, hey, party's over. I'm going to beat your ass. And then she immediately dies. It's like, oh shit, we forgot she's in this movie. Time to kill her. It's such a lame movie, but it's so bad. It was so entertaining. I watched both the Mortal Kombat movies with my friend, and he isn't someone that is particularly someone that critiques movies. He enjoys a lot of movies. He hardly ever thinks a movie is bad. Even if I think a movie is terrible, he would have found something good about it. He hated these movies. I thought that was crazy, because I've never known him to not like a movie, but he did not like these movies. Smoke is also in here for a little bit. He kind of just disappears. I did like his design, but Cyrax looks terrible in this movie. There's a lot of funny faces in this movie that don't fit what's going on. Jax is nothing like his character, because Jax is one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters. He's a badass, military-trained dude that shoots shotguns with his hands, which I didn't like that they used in the animated movie, even though I thought that was pretty good. That he shoots out of his middle arms instead of, using actual guns. But anyways, in this movie, he's basically just a replacement Johnny Cage, where he constantly makes jokes. And most of the time they aren't funny. And then there's a scene where we just have Raiden beat up this random ninja, while a way more entertaining fight we could have been watching is going on, where Jade beat up Sindel. But yeah, they wanted to focus on Raiden beating up some random ninja. And Johnny Cage gets killed pretty early on in the movie, which sucks. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have any lines. But yeah, this movie was really terrible. But it was bad enough to actually be entertaining. Like, I enjoyed watching this terrible movie, unlike the first movie. It was just so bad. And yeah, I guess that's about it.